Alright, at it again. I got on Facebook yesterday and found a 25 horse Johnson. It's an older model, it's an 80 model. My daughter likes to fish, and the motor on their rig is a Nissan. I think it's a 9.9, something like that. But anyway, it's not that old, but you can't get parts for it anymore. So I got to digging around trying to find one, and I come across this one. Now, like I say, this is old school. It's one of those tinker toys. It's got points in it and all that stuff that you have to deal with, which I like better myself, but I'm not sure they're going to get along with it real well. But anyway, this is a 1980 Johnson. And I took my little booster rig over here yesterday, put on it, pulled the plugs out of it. It's not firing, so I know probably the points are going to have to be dealt with, maybe even the coils. But it spins over real good. This thing is not really charged up good, but I can show you what I'm talking about because that shows to be in gear. Okay, it is in gear. I had to do that yesterday to find out why the throttle would not open very far. And that's why, because now this one does have points. They started making putting ignition, electronic ignition in them in about 78 or 79 from what I understand. But this is a 1980. But anyway, I'm going to tear into it today and see if I can figure out what the problem is. I've got to get the I couldn't think of what that was if somebody put a gun to my head. But anyway, the coils and points is underneath this gear head. That, like I said, they got a name for it, and I couldn't think of it now if I wanted to. But I'm going to take that off, clean the points up and all that stuff, see if I can get it to fire. Then I'm going to pull the carburetor off because the choke and all that's froze. And it looked like to me that it had been setting up for a long time. This thing was full yesterday of when I tore it apart. It had dirt dauber's nest and looked like where rats had lived in it for a little while. All that's loose. I'm going to have to deal with that. That, I'm assuming, is a starter button. And, of course, the choke doesn't work either. Now, I don't know. I didn't try it, but I don't know if it's solenoid. That probably is not. It has to have a signal from somewhere. It looks like they may have had it going from here to there. I don't know what they did. But that's what it looks like they did. Now this is actually supposed to plug into one of these down here. Probably that one. And they've either changed it around, took something off or something. So I'm going to have to address that. Find out what I need to do there, which won't be a big problem. And this recoil is broke. It does not work. So I'm going to address that also. But anyway, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm fixing to tear this thing, or tear into it, see if I can get it going. If I can, that'll be great. If I can't, really ain't lost nothing, because it was advertised for $1. And I went and picked it up, and they said, man, you can have it. We just wanted to out of our way. So I helped them out, and they helped me out. But anyway, that's what we're up against. That's what we're going to do. So I will get back with you guys in just a minute. I'm going to set the cameras up a little bit where you get a better idea of what's going on. But I'll get back with you in just a minute, or a little bit. Bye. Alright, I may or may not know what I'm doing here. This recoil is pulled out and it's froze up. This thing right here is froze up. And I don't know whether the spring's broke or what the deal is, but I'm going to try to find out. If I'm messing up, it won't be the first time. Okay, that. No. That all right? That's kind of what I thought. Y'all seen what that just did. That is loose. Looser than a gooser. I don't think the spring is broke. I think that it's been a long time. Actually, it looks like I don't know what that is. That's a piece of something that's in there that don't need to be, it looks like. I'm afraid to tear that thing apart because that spring gonna go everywhere. That right there, I'm sure is part of the mechanism that allows the motor to turn. Maybe some type of compression release or something. I don't know. You can write everything I know about one of these down on a real small piece of paper. But I know that right there is not supposed to be there. Looks like a piece of rubber. Or something. There's a screwdriver somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I use this until I find one. Or the one that I need. I don't know what the deal is there. Well, I'm afraid I don't watch real careful. It's going to have what I call a come apart. That's what it's trying to do anyway. I know you can't see that, but there's a piece of rubber or something that don't look like it belongs there. And it might. I don't know. I'm afraid to do much to that. I'm afraid that's going to pop out and make a mess. See if I can show you something here. There's a piece of rubber or something right there that don't look like it belongs there. I'm going to try to get that out without tearing it all to pieces. But I think that's what the problem is. I just don't know exactly how that got in there. So, I know I'm more interested right now in getting this out. Really, I know what it is. I think it's a book right out. I'm getting something out. I'll give you the I don't see how this will work. Let in it. It looks like maybe part of that. I don't know that. I don't think think we'll be there. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm thinking I screwed up the first time. Probably the last time either. I can tell. Really. Yep. This is not coming out the way I'd like it to. Now then, I'll come out there. And this piece of rubber. And look, it's got inches in that. One of these days, maybe, I'll learn to think that works. I don't know if I can do that. I still won't have to work. So, does it work? I had yesterday. Said it'll clean that. But it was yesterday. Now, yeah. Piece of it anyway. Right. To get that. Looks like there's something else in there. Maybe. Let's see here. All right. Alright, folks, there it is. Thank the Lord. It may be part of that right there. I've got a new one of those. There's some of it right there. That's what the problem is. So, then you pull it up in there. So all that was for nothing. We'll call that a practice run. I don't know. May have to cut it off and start all over again. That ain't what I want to do, but that may be what I have to do. Alright. Came out a little bit. This is one of the things you have to look forward to when you get old. You're not there yet, but it's a part of my life. Of course, you probably won't see all this. I'll probably edit some of it. Now then, this goes on like this. Now we're cooking with grease. May not take as long to put it together next time as it did this time. Then this goes here. It's like I said. Now then, see if I can grab a hold of this. If you can see that or not, and I'm going to try to pull that up through there. Maybe yes, maybe no. Not bad so far. Sometimes there's not an easy way to do this stuff. I know you probably can't see what I'm doing. Sometimes there's an easy way to do this, and sometimes there's an easy way, sometimes it's my way. I think Frank Sinatra sung a song like that one time. And a lot of times when I do it my way, it usually don't, sometimes it don't work very well. Go back and read the instructions. I don't know whether anybody else has to go through that or not. Probably not. Well, it ain't going there as good as I'd like to see it, but it is going. Now then, I can get this in some sort of A knot, which is not that easy, but the better you get that knotted up, I would think, the easier it might slide. See if I can get that around there and get this started in here. Because this, right in there, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm trying to get that slid up in there. It's not bad. I think I get a whole flood of memories. There was a song out several years ago by, like I said, I don't know whether I'm supposed to mention these names or not, but Merle Haggard. And the name of it, No, It's Not Love, But It's Not Bad. So that's kind of the way this is. No, this ain't right, but it's not bad. Now then, I think that will work now if I can get this. I really would like to get that down there a little bit further. Now then, if I can get that folded up, knock that off real quick. Now then, what did I do with, oh, it's there. Never mind. Like I said, I don't recommend that you do it this way. Sometimes I get in a hurry. Because when you get as old as I am, time flies. You get away from you real quick. Now then, let's see if I can get this in here. See, now it'll just pop right in there. No problem. Just like that. Now then, if I get this knot out, everything is great. I don't know how easy that's going to be. See if I can find some way to loop that around so I can use two hands. It might not be quite as bad. Hey, I'm getting somewhere now. Now then, if I can get this through that without tying a double knot. Alright folks, I'm not saying it's right, I'm saying that will work. Alright, now I've got to tighten this back up, maybe, I don't know, it may be, no, it's okay, it still works. Alright, that lets me know that whoever pulled on that rope, that thing had been setting up for quite some time. Alright, so the rope is good. I can use it if I have to. I don't want to because it is. The compression is very high on it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull the carburetor off, and then we will go from there. You have to pull the starter off and get the carburetor off. Alright, there's a bolt there, and I think I'm just about to get in my own way here. You have to take the starter bolt off. I got a sneaking feeling there's some bolts missing because I think there's supposed to be one there, and there's one over here. Them look like 7/16. So 7/16 and 11 millimeters the same. They're pretty close to the same anyway. See. Now then, there is a bolt right there. See, I don't know if you see that or not. Anyway, the bolt there, the bolt here, and I think there's supposed to be one down there. But I don't know that there is right now. So, see if this will come off. Let's have something else. Story of my life. Always takes a different tool. Extension, let's try that before we spend a whole lot of time. That didn't work. Okay. Now then, maybe I can get it off without knocking something over. That was not tight either. So, those two bolts, I believe, yep, they're the same length. Now then, that'll take care of the starter. Get that out of my way, I think. There's all that together. I guess it is. It's going to be a screwdriver. Two screws. Right there. And you have to make sure you keep up with this stuff because you can't just run up to the dealership and buy them. These screws, this plate that goes on to hold that's part of the throttle mechanism. You just don't run uptown and buy those. I'm going to take this off if I can. There you go. Get that starter off and get it out of the way. Now I was amazed that the starter worked on it, but it does. Now then, you can see 1, 2 bolts hold that on. Now you got to pull this out. Pull this out. And I think just your linkage. If I'm not mistaken, that's the only one that's got to come out. You have to get that out of the way. I think that has to come out. And all this comes off together once you get this pulled out. And if I ain't mistook, and I may be wrong, that just pulls out. But I'll know more about it in a little bit. But I'm going to take carburetor off and put it in the cleaner. Let it be cleaning up while I check the points and stuff. So I'll be back in a minute. The battery's getting low on that thing, so it may quit before I do. But this right here did pop off. And then there's 2 screws. They're probably going to be a little tough to get out. Not too bad though. And I think this right here has to pop off too. Now this adjusts the airflow on it. These things are Tinker Toys. If you want to drive, if you want it to idle, you got to have it placed one way, and if you want to get out there and hammer down on it and drive fast, there has to be another adjustment. Now then, this right here I think just pops off. If it don't, it ought to. There ain't no, I don't think there's a screw in there. Make no light. No, that just slides off. And it's very adjustable. This thing right here probably wouldn't be a bad idea to look at it pretty close when you take it apart, because what I usually do is screw all the way in, screw out 2 turns, and then put it in the middle so you can adjust it. That usually works pretty good. Now this right here is in no way a filter, but that's kind of what it is in some ways. It'll keep a dirt dauber from flying in there when you're running down the road. Now then, cannot tell. Yeah, a little bitty. It has been torn into before, that's a fact. That works. And the choke does too. I couldn't get the choke to work a while ago, but the choke is not stuck. So maybe it just needs a good cleaning. I hope so. I think that's a 7/16 or half. It don't matter. I got both of them. Somewhere. Before I get to dig it around, see if that's going to be it. And it is. So I got a 14 somewhere. That's where most of my tools are. Somewhere. Just 2 bolts that holds this in there once you get all that other mess off. Then you have to loosen them. Scoot this thing back as you take it off, because there's no room between the nut and the case at all. I bet this little thing ain't got a whole lot of irons on it. Done a lot of setting. A lot of these old motors are like that. They do a whole lot of setting. People don't just wear one out hardly. I'm not saying you can't buy one that ain't wore out. You might be able to. I mean, that is wore out. I ain't no telling how many of these things I've bought over the years, and I've never run into any major problems. I bought one last year that was froze up, and I mean froze up. You couldn't turn the motor at all. I took the plugs out of it, and it was a little bitty one. I think it was like a 4 or 5 horse Johnson, and I took that thing, sprayed it full of cleaner, or oil, and I wonder how that comes out. Oh, I thought I got a fuel line too. Yes. Still got the original clips and stuff on it, so it ain't been tampered with a lot. But I'm sure it has been tampered with over the years. Some. I don't know. That right there. You see that little clipper. And things sometimes can be a booger. Now I've got it actually. I did have at one time in my youth, 35 years ago. No, not really. What this one actually is for, I think. Now then, actually, that right there is just wanting to be aggravating. I got to get that one out. So, okay, because this right here, slide this out of the way. There's a better way to do this, but for right now, this is the way this is coming out, I think. It may not come out that way. Well, I don't know how they got that in there. Oh! Getting old sucks, but if you don't get old, you die. So, I'm going to grab a lot. See if I can get this off. Maybe. See here. Be nice if you could see. There you go. You can see that little crook right there. I don't know if it'll come off that way or this way, either one. Yeah. Now then, you can see that little crook there. That kept it from coming out. All right, it's out. All we gotta do now is tear it apart, clean it up. See if I can get it back together so it'll run. And I bet it will. I'm sitting here talking, you can't even see me. It looks good inside there. That's clean. And that old carburetor, I'm not going to say that it ain't been tore down, cleaned up. I'm sure it has. But it looks good. It just don't look like one that's got a whole lot of hours on it. That's just a standard Johnson carburetor. I don't know who makes them. Don't know. I don't see. If it says, I just don't see it. There it is, but there's a number anyway. I believe it's a Briggs & Stratton logo, but I ain't sure. Anyway, I'm gonna tear this thing down, put it in a parts cleaner, clean it up, and I'm daydreaming here. Put it all back together, see if I can get it running. Talk to you in a little bit later. Bye. Alright. Now, I've been working on this probably for an hour or so. I don't really know how long. But what I did, I took both coils out, cleaned them up real good, took the points completely out, and filed them down really good. They were pretty nasty. So I'm hoping that will do it. Maybe give me some fire. I'll know here in a minute. So I'm thinking stick it back on there and find out if I done any good or not. Who knows? I got everything hooked up as far as ignition. So I've got the top back on. And now I'm going to see if we got any fire. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we got fire. We got fire. Now, like I said, I'm going to order new points. I just want to make sure the coils were good. And I believe they are. So I'm going to go ahead and order new points and stuff for it. But I'll put the carburetor back together. I ordered a carburetor kit for it. And when it comes in, I'll put the carburetor back together. And then we'll see if we get it fired off. But I think it will. I think we're in pretty good shape now. As far as it running, I still want to put all new points and condensers and all that stuff. It will be here in the next probably 3 or 4 days. But that's what I'm banking on. But it is firing now, thank the Lord. So you got fire and gas and timing, it ought to run. Although it is a 1980 model. But I want to try to get it fixed up so my daughter will have something she can count on. Like I said, I'm old school. I like the old stuff better. I know you have to tinker with it, carburetor, all that junk. But the horsepower rating on them are true horsepower. I don't think they are anymore, me personally. Now, I've had 9.5s and 25 and 15s, and it's really hard to even tell the difference in them as far as pulling a small boat. But anyway, thank the Lord it's fire. So I've still got the carburetor and the carburetor cleaner. If it can take it out and go up past some more shit out, and then we'll go from there. So talk to you guys later. Bye.